Now for more on this, Simon Marks joins us live from Washington, D.C. Simon, Mr. Trump is facing a lot of backlash. What does he gain from pulling funding?
Well, Steve, if you've kept your eye on Donald Trump over the last 3 years, you'll know that there's not much Donald Trump enjoys more than being a lone voice on the world stage on any particular issue. It was just a few weeks ago that he was the only world leader out there proposing to reopen his country right after the Easter holidays, an idea, of course, that he then abandoned. He's now the only world leader on the world stage proposing to defund the World Health Organization. What he gains out of this, and you heard it there, in that clip of Donald Trump speaking at last night's White House briefing, is the creation of a straw man that he can blame for difficulties that many of his critics say lie right at his door. Donald Trump faults the World Health Organization for failing to have been transparent and for failing to have questioned whether China was being sufficiently transparent as coronavirus first developed. It was Donald Trump who at the end of January on Twitter praised President Xi Jinping and used the word transparency to describe what the Chinese at the time, he said, were engaged in. It's Donald Trump, of course, who is accused of not having taken sufficient action in the United States to save lives early enough. He is now going to argue that it was other people that were to blame, in this case, the World Health Organization, Democrats running their own states here in the United States. He wants to issue blame, and he is creating, in the form of the World Health Organization, a target.
All right. Simon, and in those past 3 years, the president has also often flip-flopped on issues. So what are the chances that he might change his mind this time?
Look, there's every possibility, Glenda, because we don't exactly know the details of what President Trump announced yesterday. Yes, he says he's going to halt funding temporarily to the World Health Organization while some kind of review is conducted into the future of American funding of that organization. We don't know who's heading up that review. We don't know who's part of the group that will be consulted about the activities of the World Health Organization. And so we don't know the outcome of all of this, but we do know that Democrats up on Capitol Hill, and remember, they control the House of Representatives, they are going to have a voice in all of this, are implacably opposed to the idea of defunding the World Health Organization. They accede to the idea that the World Health Organization is an imperfect body, but they, like so many others, do not believe now is the time to pull money, not least because they fear that would propel the organization into the warm embrace of China and only increase Chinese influence over the body. So there's going to be a protracted conversation about this, and you are absolutely right. It doesn't inevitably end with America pulling all of its funding from the Geneva-based organization.
All right, thanks for that. Simon Marks speaking to us from Washington, D.C.